Secretary Telecom, Neeraj Mittal ji, Professor David Koel Pillai ji, Professor Kiran Kuchi ji, Professor Rohit Buddhiraja ji, Rajkumar Upadhyay ji, Rajesh Kumar Pathak ji, and all the members of B6GA present here today. As always, it's been a very learning experience for me to be in the company of individuals that have such immense quantum computing power. I last met you on the 10th of September of last year in Bengaluru, where we spent a fair degree of time on all our 7 working groups, and it was a Bharat 6G Alliance B6GA 101 for me. We then followed it up with a rather detailed presentation by NGS and Professor Kuchi on the 26th of September last year in New Delhi, where we dwelt on some areas of the building blocks that need to be worked upon. In the area of telecom, India has come a long way, as all of you have observed. We have largely been followers of technology, late adopters of technology, not being able to participate in the standard setting protocol of telecom technology. And the last decade has seen a huge pivot and a huge paradigm shift on all of those fundamental precepts. As was our tradition, we followed the world on 4G. But we marched with the world on 5G. We enabled probably the quickest execution globally of 5G in India over a period of 22 months, where we've covered 99.6% of our districts and 82% of our population. Telecom, as the first slide of Professor Kuchi's presentation, surprisingly across the world, has become a sector where few people are treading, and the returns are no longer as gargantuan as they traditionally have been. India is the only outlier, being the second largest telecom market in the world, growing at a 13 to 15% CAGR on a decadal basis, contributing almost over 7.5% to our country's GDP. On 5G alone, capex of over 4.5 lakh crores, setting up of 450,000 BTSs. And as that pipe, if you will, is being laid, the adoption and the digestive capability of our consumers has been growing manifold. Today we consume greater than 21 GB per consumer per month, which is almost a 15 to 18 multiple from where we were a decade ago. And at the same time, alternative technologies are very quickly being rolled out in India. With BharatNet 1.0, we've laid out almost 7 lakh kilometers of OFC, connected 214,000 gram panchayats, and we are now in the process of awarding probably the largest public sector investment in broadband technology across the world, $16.9 billion under Prime Minister Narendra Modi under BharatNet 2.0, 1,39,000 crores to connect all 256 thousand GPs, and the balance 380,000 villages in India. Digital connectivity today is what is going to propel a nation's growth. Digital connectivity today and the digital highway is going to play a more fundamental role in terms of a delta than roads and railways did in the Industrial Revolution 150 years ago. And all of you, today is a day of Guru Purnima, all of you are the digital gurus and the telecom gurus sitting in this room. So it will not be an exaggeration for me to say that really the propulsion of our nation's economy lies in your capability to articulate, enunciate, ideate, and execute India's pathway to prosperity. That must be ubiquitous. That must be inclusive. And this is a group of gentlemen and ladies that has the capability of millions of GPUs put together. It also has innovative capability coming from every aspect to be able to enunciate our path for 6G. Industry, academia, entrepreneurs, established companies. And I'm glad to see today through the three presentations by Professor Kuchi and Professor Budhiraja and Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay that we have made progress. For the first time in India's history, we are playing a seminal role in the standard setting and the protocol setting of telecom technology. And I must congratulate and commend all of you for achieving that for Bharat. But the work has just begun. You already are divided among 7 working groups. working independently, but also coordinating with each other. And if I may use a telecom term, really looking at multiplexing. And that is our task, that is our job. Now, I have 2 or 3 observations that I would like to make. The interactive session today has been very illustrative and educative for me. But I think what comes out of these interactive sessions, which is the mandate that you have set for yourselves, whether it's going down the equipment manufacturing route for 6G, or it is about captive 5G, 6G networks. I'd like to see traction happening on this. I think in India the time has come. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made it very clear that you all have to be in the driver's seat, not government. And we have to be your partner to help you achieve what you need to achieve for the country. And that is very much the way that I have operated in the last 23 years, in all the ministries that I have been part of. My job is to ensure that if there are any speed breakers, or if there is assistance required from government, it is forthcoming for you. If there are any barriers that are in place, I don't dismantle them, I break them down. And I'd like you to take me up on my offer. I would like for you to be a proactive group. I would like for all of you to be pushing us. My office, Secretary's office, is open for you 24/7. We want to be the receptor of your ideas and be able to articulate them and assist you where you need assistance. One of the issues that is concerning me, and I think 1 or 2 of you have pointed in that direction as well, that if indeed we want to provide 10% of the patents to ITU or 3GPP for the 6G protocol, then we have our work cut out for us. And the pace at which we are moving is worrying me. Because today through TDTF, we have approved 111 projects pertaining to 6G. Let's assume about 80 of these projects may yield 2 patents each. That means we're talking about 160, and these are not even SCPs. And Professor Kuchi and Professor Budiraja elaborated on the SCP versus non-SCP categories. And if we have to contribute 10,000 patents, that means that we should at least start with 100,000 patents as a funnel. And so there's a long way to go. And let me articulate very clearly here that there's no dearth of funding. Through DBN, 5% of DBN is committed to all of you. That's close to 600 crores per annum. If you take a period of 3 years, that's upwards of close to 2,000 crores. And what you will require for these 10,000 patents would be in that ballpark figure of 1800 to 2000 crores. So the funding is there, but the innovation and ideas have to come from all of you. So I would like a preponderance on this aspect as we move along. In addition to that, what would be very useful to me as well is that, considering the network effects that you have put in place at B6GA, in terms of the vast repertoire of international collaborations, whether it's USA or Germany or Korea or other countries that you have looked at, where are the collaborations with each of these networks? How is it that it's going to help on the underlying theme of where we want to advance? And what makes sense for our kind of environment in India, which is something that was elaborated on by the representative, I think, from Samir. And I think that's a very important point. I was always under the misconception that these standards have to be set globally before we set them locally. But I think that has become clear to me today, and I think we should make what is local global, and also ties in with the Prime Minister's vision of Anusandhan, Atmanirbharta, and make in India, but make for the world. In this case, technology and standards. So I'd like to move very quickly on that as well. I'm sure you've done this, but what I would advise B6GA to do as well is to put together a roadmap over the next 3 to 4 years. And then sequentially break that up into a month-to-month target. So almost try and set up some sort of a PERT chart or Gantt chart, if you will, and give responsibilities to our working groups on that basis. And then every quarter, you all must have an internal meeting putting in place accountability with each one of these 7 working groups, and certain issues that may be common across all working groups that we need to achieve, so that we can take stock of where we are. I do understand that this is not as clear as setting up a network, because a lot of these factors are amorphous today, and they will be defined through brainstorming. But nevertheless, I think that's important to have in place so that we know how we are advancing compared to where we thought we would be. And I think on a quarterly or maybe a 6-monthly basis also come and inform Secretary and myself as to how we are doing. And in the process, if there are any interventions that you require from government or from us at the ministry, please feel free to come and call on us. I believe innovation is key to success. I believe that ideation must result in execution. Because unless it results in execution, the benefits of that do not accrue to our consumers or to the marketplace. You are the repository of India's capability. And I think there are two frontiers that need to be worked on in our generation, which are going to change the way citizens live their lives across the world. One is the frontier of telecom and digitization, and the second is the frontier of space. And now both of these have become very interlinked and will become even more so. And therefore, I cannot underline as emphatically as I want your seminal role in taking India forward. In conclusion, I'd like to commit our efforts and our availability to each one of the working groups also individually, because there may be some issues that need to be sorted out for a particular working group. And we are always available to you. Please ping us as much as required. We are here to service your needs, because in servicing your needs, we will be servicing the needs of the next generation of Bharat, which has to be established. Thank you very much.